Papa John's. The staff rolled out the red carpet for us, but the ingredients are delivered to the store in prepackaged plastic bags.
The pull-apart cinnamon bread was scrumptious, but the employee behind the counter said he prefers Domino's.
They gave us chairs so we could eat in the lobby, but the packaging for our food was taunting us. After determining Chili's to be the perfect measuring stick of mediocrity just 2 weeks ago, my first foray into utilizing the Chili's test is today, where we're reviewing this Papa John's. Is it objectively good, aka better than Chili's, or will it forever carry the scarlet letter of being subpar? Let's find out together. This is the Fine Dining Podcast.
Your table is ready, take a seat. The flavor of the day is mediocrity. Wouldn't you like to try a bite? Guarantee it'll be the perfect bite. Fine dining, better than you thought, worse than you hoped. Fine dining, we don't treat mediocre as a joke. Ranking every single place we've been, compared to the perfect 5 out of 10.
Hello, and welcome back to Fine Dining, the quest to compare all restaurants to Chili's. I am your host, Michael Ornelas, and this is the show where I'm using Chili's, the perfectly average 5 out of 10 dining experience, to measure what is good or not good by comparison. So the question on our minds today, is Papa John's better than Chili's? I know you most likely just said hell nah out loud wherever you are right now, but we're going to keep our minds open to the possibility while we tell you all about our food, our experience with the staff, and what it's like to eat one item at a time in the lobby of a Papa John's that has nowhere to sit. Joining me today to discuss Papa John's is a very funny comedian with a unique multimedia and musical style. He has a YouTube special called Why Won't You Dance With Me that I've watched and enjoyed 2 times now. It's my newest friend, Nick Stargu.
Hi.
How's it going?
Good. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
So, thanks for watching it twice.
Yeah.
I hope you watch the second time on double speed.
And so forth. The third time
and the third time on third speed.
Yeah,
it's
be
in
like
beta right now, but
it'll be like when you're approaching zero on like limits in is it calculus or whatever? That'll be the speed I eventually watch it at on my like in 900,000th watch through.
That was the nerdiest way to explain that.
The amount of time it takes will be approaching zero.
Or half speed, if you really liked it.
I'd watch it at half speed.
You'd watch it at half speed?
Yeah. I want to hear what your voice sounds like, slowed down or like way deeper or something like that.
There we go. How about that?
Oh.
This
Yeah.
is what my voice would sound like, kind of deeper.
But now you have to talk twice as slow.
Oh, this is what my voice...
How's it going?
It's great. Yeah, we had quite the experience today.
How are you feeling? Genuinely,
genuinely post experience or just in general?
Post experience,
yeah.
Is the Papa John's affecting you?
Yes, I have indigestion, but it's not as bad as I expected.
I often get to a point when recording the part 2 episodes, where I am talking through holding back burps.
Yeah,
and
that's a fetish for some people.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, burping fetish. Like for people to watch that or I
don't like that.
I had a friend who burps a lot on her TikToks. And she's like that was a smash burger or whatever. And you got to be careful with because there's guys who like this kind of. She's like, I know.
They're paying my bills.
Yeah. But yeah, post Papa John's, I can get bad indigestion from like pizza because it's like the sauce and the cheese and everything.
It's just very bready too.
Yeah, bready. And
I think that's
garlic.
What comes up in me.
There was garlic and stuff. And I don't know if this happens to you, but when I get bad indigestion, sometimes I feel like I can't breathe. And the walk back from a place can be rough depending on like what I ate. Yeah. And so it wasn't as bad as I was worried about it, but we were good. Yeah.
We're hanging in there. We'll see where this goes. Okay, well, we're going to break this down and talk about all the good things. So I'm going to play that jingle and we'll talk about only the positives of the Papa John's experience.
This is the good, done like it should be. The stuff that's finger licking, or sticking the landing. This is the good, I knew that you could. This is the good.
First thing I noticed when we walked in
Yeah.
was that they seemed to be working very hard. They were under a crunch.
It seemed,
I didn't see anybody that was just like standing around like they were going for it, right?
Yeah.
So much so that actually it added to a bad thing.
Right.
So when we walked in, I guess we won't talk about the bad stuff.
Yeah,
We'll just only good
bring that
stuff
up later.
Yeah.
I do think there is a lot of value in seeing like, okay, yeah, everyone seems to be pulling their weight.
Right.
No one's slacking off. There did seem to be, and like we got there pretty shortly after they opened.
Oh yeah. Okay.
I'm pretty sure
But there was no one else in there when we
no.
got there. Yeah.
I think it's for a pickup order.
They seemed surprised when we walked in.
And they seemed surprised that we were like placing an order while staying there.
Right.
Like I think that the business model has shifted in such a way over the years that
They wanted it to be to go.
they always want it to be to go. They always expect it to be to go. And we had some very transparent conversations with some of the people that work there. And, they were kind of saying like with COVID, they used to have maybe
Seating.
a little table
Yeah.
and seats and stuff like that. And then COVID came and for protective reasons, they got rid of it. And then they were like, all right, well,
Right.
screw it. We're not going to bring that back.
I'm sure they're saving money.
No one's going to eat here.
Right. And then we walk in.
Enter us.
And they did give us chairs.
Yeah, they
So that was-
went into the back.
Yeah.
Brought out some chairs.
I mean, this was after we mentioned that there's a podcast involved. Though.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they were very kind.
Yeah.
The manager or the owner,
Yeah.
not even the manager, the owner passed on a message to one of the people working and they were like, hey, the owner said that like, we'll get you anything that you just want to try.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's so nice of them.
It was very nice.
So I'm going to put a blanket disclaimer over this episode because I don't think highly of Papa John's. I don't think highly of their product. And I mean, like it's a joke of like me going in and judging them on this layout of like we're eating in the lobby. I understand that they didn't force that upon me. That's my self-imposed bit.
Sure.
It's not really factoring into the score that much. I don't objectively love the inconvenience of like eating messy things over a box in a lobby of a Papa John's where it's hot. I don't put that on them. But my blanket disclaimer is literally this branch in particular seemed to care. I had almost unanimously positive opinions about my interactions with the staff. My criticisms are of the brand's product.
Right. The food.
Not the branch.
Right.
So I do believe that the things I didn't like would be applicable across all Papa John's. The only thing specific to this location that I will criticize is, and I'll get to it later, but it's like, it's not even really their fault.
Right.
So
I would say they surpassed expectations.
Yeah.
For when we got there, from
Yeah.
the beginning, when we got there, I had a certain perception, and then by the end, yeah.
And I will say,
changed.
there is it's always a flip of a coin of how are they going to react when they find out I'm making content about them.
Right.
Because the first thing that was asked when they saw, because I take footage, right? I get pictures, I get video that I put into the YouTube episode.
Right.
Just to give receipts to the things I'm talking about. And a guy popped up like the neighbor from Home Improvement, literally over a barricade. We just see the top half of his head. And he's like, could you just blur my face? Whatever you're making, that's fine. Just could you blur my face? And I don't think I got any footage of his face, so it won't be an issue. But yeah, I mean, I'm never looking to like put anyone on blast or make anyone look bad. People are just trying to get through their day,
just working,
do their job, whatever. I'm not here to interfere with that. I am just documenting what I see. So that was like the first interaction, but then it did lead to him asking, well, what are you recording for? And,
well, he wanted to be blurred out, right?
Yeah.
So how about when you talk like him, you use the microphone?
Hey, yeah, what's this for?
So we're just doing a podcast about Papa John's, and so you won't be in it, but
oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, could you just not show my face if that's okay?
Yeah, no worries. We won't use your face. We won't use your voice. We're just going to talk about the food.
I live here.
Oh.
They keep me in the back, in the freezer.
Well, this is
what
what...
walk-in.
Oh, so I did notice you ran your fingers through your hair.
That was just me doing my hair like you would do at home before you go into work.
So we might be talking about this on the podcast, if that's okay.
Yeah, that's fine. Just blur my face.
Okay, we'll blur your voice too.
Blur my voice. Is this what blurry sounds like?
This is what blurry sounds like.
Great.
This is more...
This is blurry. Oh, God. Oh, God.
Oh,
all right.
That's so fun.
Yeah.
And so after we learned he was living in the walk-in,
yeah,
it's like, hey, man, like, if you need help, let us know. We can get you out of this situation. We can call whoever went to CPS. I don't know.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He did not seem underage, but you never know. CPS might be able to help. They have heroes that work amongst them. They'll help. Can you imagine someone calls CPS and they're like, 19 years old. Sorry.
Too old.
Not touching it. Not helping you.
Yeah.
Sir, I'm burning. I'm falling into a cement truck that's on fire.
Call 911.
Call 911. Different number.
Yep.
Yeah. Nice.
So the good things that you've noticed.
Yes.
Were rolling out the red carpet basically for us.
I thought that going to the back and getting chairs for us to sit was so a step beyond what I expected. Yeah. We were just kind of crouching on the windowsill.
We had no reason to be there.
Yeah.
And
I asked for like the items to come out one at a time.
Right.
Because I wanted to do a bit of like, not even that I was expecting to outsmart them, but I almost expected them to be like, oh, you have your food. Could you leave? So I was like, well, we can get around that if we order one thing, get it, then order another thing, start eating the first thing, then order another thing, start eating the second thing. I had a plan.
Yeah.
And it ended up being unnecessary. They got it all out.
Faster than quoted.
Quoted, yeah. And it all came out together. And we asked for chairs. They went back, or no, they offered chairs. We didn't even ask.
Yeah.
We said, do you mind if we eat here? It's just part of the bit, basically.
Right.
They're like, we can get you chairs. And I thought that was genuinely a step, 2 steps beyond what was expected.
Yeah. So. I think they didn't know we were doing a podcast until after we got the food. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is interesting.
Yeah. Because it's like while we were like just starting to like film stuff, and then when the food was sitting on the counter is when we like told him outright, this is what this is for.
You also liked the word cloud or something?
I noticed the word cloud.
It. Okay.
It's crazy. So when there are places that I have such low opinions about, I'm really reaching for positives.
Right.
And while I didn't even love the word cloud, I liked the vibrant red paint. I was like, oh, this looks like it was recent.
Well, because their aesthetic is brick.
Fake brick.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
Even on the side of the soda refrigerator.
Yeah. But this one wall had a way fresher coat of bright red paint than the other. Like the counter had a similar red that was way more sun faded.
I'm guessing that's post John Schnatter.
Yeah, because it did not say the N-word.
It didn't have the N-word in it.
It used to.
Yeah.
It was crazy. It used to. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, the decor choices were minimal. They're not in the good overall.
Right.
But, it's little silver linings, and a fresh coat of red paint is enough of a silver line. It's a red lining where I'm like, yeah, okay. Wait, red lining is racism.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, that's Papa John's.
Fit in there.
Okay, I do have 2 things that I ate that ended up in this category.
In the good category.
In the good category.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
One of them is not a food. It is an accompanying dipping sauce, but just I think they just call it the zesty sauce or the zesty garlic or something like that.
Yeah.
That we got with the wings. I feel like it wasn't meant for a wing. It was too thick of a sauce for what I imagine, because the wing is already tossed in a barbecue sauce.
Right.
So it doesn't need
any extra.
Dip. This felt like it was meant for like a breadstick or something like that. That said, I did it with the wings and I liked it. I thought that the zesty sauce, I asked them like, they're like, it's a proprietary blend. It's, it's just a little bit spicier. I liked it. I went 7.5 out of 10 just on that sauce.
Okay.
Not the best, but it elevated something that I was otherwise not really
You
enjoying.
understood what the whole thing about their sauce, the dips being like, you understood the thing.
It's the thing.
Yeah.
So the zesty sauce I liked.
Yeah.
You had some food in the good.
I had some food in the good. I liked the wings more than I expected to.
Yeah.
The thing I liked the most, I would say, was the cinnamon pull-apart bread.
Yeah.
Which I believe you also liked.
I also have that in the good.
Yeah.
I thought it was crumbly, tasty, warm, had a great texture.
Yeah.
It had like chunks of cinnamon crumbles on it.
Kind of the cinnamon paste, whatever that the dark stuff was tasty.
And the edge and the middle both had distinct textures, neither of which bad. Kind of had like a tougher sounds like an unenjoyable word, but like a heftier.
Yeah.
And then doughier toward the middle. And I thought both were good.
Yeah.
So I went 8 out of 10 on the cinnamon pull-apart crumble. Very solid dessert.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I matched you on that. I'm at 8 out of 10 on that.
It tickled my sweet tooth in the right way.
Yeah, you were very surprised. You're like, oh, this is actually pretty good.
It's
that was my impression.
It's spot on. It was served in like that, like
a pizza box,
like that. No, but inside that, like tin foil.
Yes.
What would you call that?
A tin, like a
tin.
Tin, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Not the most like when you're thinking of like plating,
right?
It's just like, oh, this felt like they ripped the plastic off, put it in whatever they put it in to heat it up, probably an oven or something. Yeah. Give it to you. It's not nice.
We should have asked if it's like pre-prepared and they do that, or if they actually like ice it, or
I'd imagine that they ice it after the fact.
Yeah,
they've gotta. It didn't, because otherwise I feel like it would have been more dispersed.
Yeah,
and this felt like it had the lines. It had ropes that were shot across it.
It felt human.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. If you want to talk about your other good things, I am out.
I thought the garlic knots. I'm an East Coaster, so I've had lots of garlic knots, and for a franchise, it was pretty good.
So that's the qualifier for me that causes me to bring it down. Where it's like, because I'm just comparing it against all foods I've ever had.
I see. Yeah.
So it's just like, for a franchise, to me, I'm not rating it on that scale. You can.
Yeah.
And if for you it's like, oh yeah, this was good for that, then cool, let's hear it.
None of the things are things I would just say, you know what, I'm going to go back to Papa John's and order that.
Yeah.
But
I didn't leave today with any future cravings.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it was the bottom of good, like a 7.
Okay.
Yeah. For me.
That'd be 6.
Well, it should be 6 then. I guess it's a 6.
All right.
Yeah.
And then the wings.
I was surprised that the flavor was actually pretty good. It was like kind of smoky.
Yeah.
We got the barbecue wings. I know you weren't a fan of the texture of them. You wanted them to be crispier.
Yeah, I'll talk about them in a different segment.
As far as I haven't had other wings at other franchises before. Like I think Pizza Hut might do wings as well.
They have Wing Street is their like.
Are they boneless or bone-in?
They have both.
They have yeah. So I don't know if I can compare the two, but for what I expected it to be, it was better than I expected. So I gave it a better score.
Sure.
Yeah. So I gave it a 7.
Do you have anything else in the good?
That's it.
Great.
Yeah.
I'm going to just start the jingle for the not good so I can go into addressing my thoughts about the wings.
Okay, let's go for it.
This is not so good. I'm not quite sure about it. Could have done without it. The stuff that brings down the mood. This is just not very good.
So like the taste was fine on it. Like I agree with you that there was a smokiness and the sauce wasn't bad. There's like the best word I can use to describe the texture, and this does apply to like a Wing Street or something like that. It's like sweaty. Like it feels like damp more than saucy.
Okay.
And it's like, it's soft, but not in a way where I'm like, it's tender. So it's just all of these things where it's like, it's approximating what it should be, but it's coming at it from like a different angle. It's like, if I had to drive to your place, but I went all the way the other way around the world to get there, it would be like, yeah, I got there, but how I got there just isn't right and it's less enjoyable.
Yeah.
That would be how I would view these wings.
Okay. You had a wing and a leg, right?
I had a wing and a leg.
Yeah,
they were
about the same.
roughly the same in
Okay.
my perception of them. Like microwaved, maybe. I don't know why they would, given how they always have an oven running. I went 3.5 out of 10 on the wings.
Wow. Okay.
So I
it was
didn't
bad.
hate them.
It was bad, but
yeah,
the higher
I would say it's
end
not
of it.
good. Yeah,
Okay.
if 4 is the bottom, is where average stops and not good begins. These are not good.
we got a disagreement here on the podcast.
The biggest disturbing thing, and look, it is a good thing that there was employee transparency, but just the revelation that, yeah, somewhere along the way, they changed the process and now food arrives prepackaged in bags when they are a place that touted fresh better ingredients, better pizza.
Which they still have as their slogan.
But their pizza is not better.
It's not better.
And it never was, even when the ingredients were.
I mean, maybe John, because, John tried it again and he said that it was different. So I don't know. Maybe it was better.
Maybe it was.
And even the guy that was working there said, we used to make better pizza for you guys.
Yeah. Speaking of used to, and this is just a observation, I don't really have an opinion on it.
Yeah.
And it may just be Texas. Like when I was growing up, I always remember when I would see Papa John's, the pepperoni was underneath the cheese layer.
Oh.
As opposed to on top.
They didn't do that here.
No.
Yeah, weird. That's
you would see like little chunks maybe sticking out from underneath. Like an ingrown nail.
Ooh. Or ingrown hair.
Like an ingrown hair.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know. It was just, it was interesting. And I like the pepperoni to be on top.
Yeah.
Because I don't like cheese. I don't want that to be the prominent flavor. I want,
to taste the pepperoni
I want the meat
first.
to hit the taste buds first and then the cheese to be something I ignore. Pizza is the only thing I will eat melted cheese on.
No nachos.
No nachos.
What about a cheesy, like a macaroni and cheese?
No. Ooh. Macaroni and cheese grosses me out so much. If you took a pizza and started folding it into a calzone and like sealing it, at some point I'd be like, I'm not going to eat that. Even though I would eat it as a pizza.
Because you'd be eating the bread first in that case.
I'd be eating the bread first, but I think there's something about knowing that there's like a gooey glob that's cooking and hot waiting for me in the middle of cheese.
What if you took a calzone and you cut it in half and then you flate it?
I don't think I would eat it then
Really?
either.
What if they told you it was pizza?
I don't know.
Look, we'll have to trick you one of these
days. It's a psychology thing, and like it's genuinely. I think if you offered me like $1,000 to eat a calzone, I would probably just cry that I don't have the mental ability to overcome that hurdle. And like genuinely, like that's not a joke. I think I would just struggle and be like, I'm so stupid for not being able to do this and overcome that for $1,000.
If you were offered a role in a movie and the character had to eat it, and you had to actually take a bite.
I don't know.
You don't know.
I don't know. It would stress me out.
Yeah.
I don't like that I'm like this, but I am.
Hey, you know who you are.
This is my mental prison that I am in. Please.
Sorry to hear that.
Please bring bail money.
I'm the same way with soup. So
yeah. They had displays up overhead that 2 of them were static.
Yeah.
And then a third one kept changing, but 2 of the screens that it was changing to were copies of the other 2 screens.
Right.
I don't know why those needed to be in the rotation. There were only 4 screens it was oscillating between, so you could cut 2 of those out and just get 2. And then it was just moving way too fast. It was 5 to 6 seconds between each rotation.
Right.
They
had to
all
wait for it to get back to, if you were like, oh, I didn't see the bottom half of this one. Yeah.
But they all had their own preset like PowerPoint slide transition.
Right.
To where some of them, you don't see the bottom corner until like the last 2 seconds of it being on screen.
Then it changes.
And that was the case of one that had a warning label in the corner.
Right.
They had a little salt shaker icon inside of a triangle. And it was basically like anything with this icon, ordering that alone exceeds your daily intake value of 2,300 milligrams of sodium.
Right.
And having that much, it puts you at risk for...
It wasn't even a pizza. It was
stroke and heart disease.
Yeah.
It was a build your own
bowl.
Bowl.
Right.
Which is basically saying like, look, you could do this very irresponsibly.
Right.
So we have to put this warning here because of you.
Yeah. It's your fault.
You're the one to blame.
Yeah.
And it felt a little, I don't think it was deliberate, but it did feel a little like schemey.
Right.
To make it that warning
out of
only
all of
appeared
them,
for 2 seconds.
Yeah. Out of all of them, was the last screen.
Yeah.
And for the shortest amount of time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just it kind of felt just kind of bootleg to see that. To see that.
Yeah.
You know, to see the screens doing that. I'm like, this. It seems like they could just have a display or something.
Yeah, and the footage of it was actually from a guy standing in a movie theater with a handheld camcorder. Yeah. They just loaded that DVD in, and that's what was playing.
Like
at one point, someone stood up, and you see their silhouette as they walk off screen.
Dark Knight or whatever.
Yeah,
yeah.
There was extreme heat.
Extreme heat.
It was sweltering in there,
and also when we first got there, kind of just a vibe that. We don't want you here.
Yes.
That was the initial vibe.
Yeah. So
it was just unwelcoming. It was hot.
Yeah.
They were busy.
They were overwhelmed by a big order.
Yeah.
And they were like, who are these guys?
Yeah. We were just standing around looking, and the guy, we didn't even ask to order yet.
Yeah. And the guy was like, it's going to be maybe a half an hour before we can even take your order.
Yeah.
It didn't end up being that.
Right.
We actually ended up being able to order
like in a minute.
Yeah, pretty quickly.
Yeah.
But I think that, and this guy we ended up having multiple positive interactions with after.
Right.
But that first impression was very like, come on, guys, why are you here? And like, I get it.
Yeah.
I do.
A lot of times you just got to talk to these people, you know,
Yeah.
You got to just have conversations, and then they're like, oh yeah, you're not. It's like for me doing shows, there's sound guys are always that way. They always are confrontational and standoffish because they're like, I've done this job for 20 years and you don't know what you're doing, but I do. That's the vibe.
Yeah.
And then you talk to them and they're like, then they end up being okay.
Yeah.
That was what I feel like happened here. It was
can you
proved yourself.
Can you show me what a sound guy sounds like at his worst?
Oh yeah. You need to tune your saxophone. It's out of tune. Tune it. Hey, are you using a DI box? You're not using a DI? Well, I got to get one from the back, I guess. All right. Well, and then
you talk to them and they see you do your act, or they see you in the rehearsal, and they're like, "Oh, that was actually kind of good." And then
and then their voice kind of
comes back to normal. You know, then they're like,
"Oh man, you're pretty good."
This is not at all indicative of the comedy that I do. It's better. It's better.
This is such a toy box.
It's a toy. It is a toy box. Yeah. My partner, you know, she hears what's going on in the room. You know, The Office.
Yeah.
And it's all play. You know, it's all play. But yeah, it's the same kind of thing. It's like we talked to them, told them what the deal was, and they were like, "Here's 2 chairs. And you guys can eat here."
Yeah.
So that was nice.
Turned a corner.
Yeah.
But started a little standoffish. It started with like, earn my trust.
Yes.
Earn my friendship.
Yeah.
And by the end,
we were friends.
We're having a poker night.
Yeah.
In just a few days. So
he's gonna become a subscriber, he said.
Yes.
Yeah.
To Herbalife. He did not say to me. But yeah. So look, I don't know if I'm on record on this podcast, but I don't like the sun. Like, I'm not an outdoorsy guy. I don't like sweating.
Yeah.
And this was just in direct sunlight, just coming in, beaten down. I know I said it was hot in there, but also it was like too bright.
Yeah. It's just an unwelculming place to be.
I'm a night owl.
Yeah.
The night
like
time
the dark.
is for me. I like the
darkness.
Dark. I like to brood.
Also a sign that said no public restrooms.
Yeah.
Which is always just kind of, you're not welcome here.
I actually, in a venue like this, understand it.
Yeah.
The walkway back there, you're walking by potentially hot pizza equipment. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of opportunity to like contaminate or to injure yourself. So in a place like this, I don't mind no public restroom.
Yeah.
If you have a dining room, I do believe you are obligated to have a restroom.
I think what it was for me was there were so many like warnings of like, we're not going to help you in this capacity or this capacity. Like, you can't sit here. You can't We don't take any bills over 20.
Yeah.
There was a sign for that. There was you should tip us. There was like a bucket for that.
Yeah.
Anyway, it became more welcoming as we,
Yes.
Oh, also, they didn't have any water.
Yeah.
Which
it was soda only.
Soda only. And he had to ask one of the other guys,
Do we have
water?
And he was like, what's that?
Yeah, he was like, water.
So I ended up walking down to the corner to the 7-Eleven to get myself
sparkling water.
A big thing of water.
Oh, real? Yeah.
To hydrate myself with. For one of the employees was covered in what they called dust.
Yeah.
I thought it was flour, and he was like, no. Papa John's insists that we call it dust. This is like the compound that you use to like separate tortillas when you're cooking and stuff like that. So I just thought that was funny.
Yeah.
That he's covered in dust. Another employee rode a bird scooter in.
Right. In
like
from the street.
Scooter.
That was one of the first things we saw. We were like,
from the door, just through to the back.
Yeah.
In the employee area. That's not good.
Yeah.
It's funny.
Just bringing the outside inside.
Yeah. That doesn't belong in here, Let's talk about the worst thing. The pizza.
I mean,
this is what you're supposed to have on lock.
Yeah. You're supposed to have better pizza. It's worse pizza. It's worse ingredients, worse pizza.
Yeah.
Really is what their slogan should be.
It wasn't great. We just got a standard pepperoni pizza.
Yep.
I dipped in the garlic sauce. You are not a sauce boy.
Yep.
And I also have the garlic sauce under not good. I just felt like it didn't taste good enough to justify how gross I felt eating it. Something about the texture of knowing I'm eating butter. It's like lobster with butter sauce, to me, overcomes the barrier of like, this does taste good enough to justify the fact that this is just butter.
Right.
Which like, I like butter, but I just need a light coating of butter. Doused in butter is a bit much for me. Dipping in a vat of butter that's too far for my taste.
Maybe if the pizza was better, but you have two subpar things happening at once.
Yeah.
And so, it's like cafeteria level pizza. Like you're at the Natural History Museum and getting pizza there.
Yeah, at their like little cafe.
Yeah.
That it's the only hot item they have.
Right.
And it's under a heat lamp.
Right.
For how long's it been there? I don't know.
And just to preface, we got the classic style.
Yes.
We didn't get the New York style.
We didn't go adventurous. We got the tried and true, the thing they hang their hat on, the thing that brought them to the dance. And it wasn't very good.
Yeah.
2 out of 10 on the pepperoni pizza. My note I just wrote is, come on, you should be better.
Yeah.
That's what I wrote.
I gave it a 4 out of 10 originally.
Yeah.
And then I thought about it and I was like, this place is a pizza place. So the pizza should be better than the cinnamon pull apart, whatever
the pizza should be the best thing.
It should be the thing. So that brought it down to a 3.
To a 3.
Yeah.
Yeah. Deserved. And then the garlic sauce for me, I also gave a 3. So it's like, it's not trash, but it's not good.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just like, I feel like other places do it better. Maybe not garlic sauce, but utilizing garlic in a pizza setting. I would prefer just like roasted garlic, which I know defeats the purpose of a pizza dipping sauce. But like, if I'm dipping my pizza in anything, it's probably going to be like, I want the crust in marinara.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I love that because it's just like, it's cohesive with the flavoring of pizza.
Right.
I know some people do ranch.
Oh, so gross.
I'm not into ranch.
You probably have a lot of viewers that do that, though.
Thank you for assuming I have a lot of viewers.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's it for me for the not good. Overall, I would put the food in not good.
Yes.
As a bucket. As a bucket statement. Yeah.
We didn't barf, though.
You didn't barf.
Yeah.
I am going to go 2 thumbs down with the food, though. Like, not even just 1.
Yeah.
I don't like the food at Papa John's.
Yeah.
Conversely, the service at this store, I'm going to go 1 thumb up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Instead of 2 thumbs?
Instead of 2 thumbs. I don't know. When
I would give him 2 thumbs.
When I've eaten at like Mastro's and it's like the nicest service.
I guess you're comparing it to that.
Yeah. Like on the grand spectrum of what service can be.
Yeah.
I just don't think this can reach into 2 thumbs up. Even if they were very nice, very accommodating.
It's like a Michelin star situation.
Yeah.
Because there's only, 3? You can have the max 3 Michelin stars.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Right? So like, I feel like you need more of a spectrum for this place because only one feels bad.
There was also the opening, like,
That's
unwelcoming.
True. That's true. Yeah. I'm going to one thumb it too then, I guess.
Yeah, like that is part of there's the bird scooter.
Yeah.
It's just like,
you're right.
There are service elements that aren't perfect.
Yeah.
But, and then, the decor is going to be the majority of what's just there. That'll get 0 thumbs from me. So let's, do you have any more that's not good?
No.
All right. Let's talk about everything that was just there.
This is a weird one. I'm not quite sure what to say about it. This is for the stuff that is just there.
Yeah, so they had a word cloud on the wall that was just like pizza, ingredients, John, the words that associate with it. Literally felt like those things that would go viral from like, here are all the things that were said the most on your Facebook this year or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I didn't talk about the Patriots that much, did I? Or, something like that.
Right.
Or in my case, it would be like, I didn't mention Stone Cold Steve Austin that much, did I?
You probably did.
I probably did.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. It felt low effort, but interesting enough. And you put it on top of a bright red coat of paint that for some reason I just really liked the vibrancy of it.
It reminded me of Chipotle, just a little brighter. Like, because I feel like they would do the word cloud thing too, but they would do a maroon color.
Yeah.
Less bright.
So, that's a thing, I guess. They had a cloth tapestry on the wall that was like shaped like a window.
I felt like that would, for me, it was more bad than okay.
Okay.
Because, well, keep going. I'm sorry, not to interrupt.
Yeah, well, just to describe it, it's basically like this metal framing that's like, like the top of what would be like a window and the bottom of what would be like a window. And then just a cloth hanging in between of
Pizza World.
Bright pepperoni pizza.
Yeah.
On like a white backdrop. And it was silly in a way.
It seemed out of place. Like they didn't need to put anything there.
They didn't need to put anything there, and they did put that there. And then you were like, was that sent from corporate, or was this like they took their own initiative? Because it looked kind of that like slapdash.
Right.
Yeah.
And so like we got this on Amazon, and this will order some more pizzas for us. The thing is, like, the whole idea is you're ordering to go.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So it kind of doesn't matter what the decor.
Right.
Like they don't need to add stuff.
Yeah.
To make it look better, really.
Yeah, because it's not going to.
It's not going to, yeah.
And like, I don't know. It feels a little gross that it's made of cloth because the instinct when something is cloth is that people come over and touch it.
Wipe their pizza fingers on it.
And it's just like, oh, well, now it's just all that. But the ridiculousness of it, I enjoyed. Therefore, it balances out to just there.
Okay.
That's my justification for it. But
I got you.
They also had a clock in the back that was just not
broken.
Even close. No, it was working. Like the seconds hand was ticking 1 second at a time.
But it was like 6 hours off or something.
6 hours and 17 minutes off.
Yeah.
At 11:59 a.m., it said it was 6:16 or something like that.
And the employee said, "Yeah, we're trying to get a digital one."
It's like, what do you mean trying?
Yeah, just
You're clearly not high priority on the Papa John's like update list because all the stuff inside was still using the old logo.
Oh,
and like the sign outside had the green border around it, whereas like Papa John's got rid of the green in their logo. It's literally just a red Papa John's.
I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah.
And there's no apostrophe anymore, right? That's the other thing?
Like, that's the logo.
Oh.
That's it.
Yeah.
They don't have the green box or whatever it was. So, and then fake brick walls.
Right.
Sure, I guess. I don't know.
There was a delivery person there that after we banged on it to see if it was real or not.
Went over, touched it, and then like gave us like a wink.
Yeah. He was like, nope, not real.
It's like, yeah, we
just did that.
Yeah. Also, you work here.
No, he did. I don't think he worked. I think he was like a DoorDash. He was a DoorDash guy.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And then the other just there thing for me was the garlic knots. I thought that they were soft and doughy, but a little too goopy for me.
The actual, like, it was like too soft?
Like the stuff around it, like the butter drizzle.
I see.
And all that. Also, I could tell it had like Parmesan on it, and I wasn't really
cheese guy.
Not into that. So that might be my own personal taste bud. I do love garlic knots, but when you're putting cheese on it, it does ruin it. But yeah, there's just like a texture thing to it, kind of like with the wings, where it was like, yeah, the taste is okay, but something about the way we got here feels off. I did give it a 5 out of 10 though, so like it's fine.
Okay.
For me.
Where do we put when we were talking with them and we asked them what they thought of the pizza? How does that fit in there?
I don't know. I mean, like, because the interaction was pleasant,
right?
But the
what
information was not good on Papa John's,
right?
So I guess I'd put it in just there to balance those things out. Yeah, we asked them, and one of them was like, "Oh, I love the deep dish at Pizza Hut."
Yep.
And the other one was like, "I'm a Domino's guy," and I was like,
he also mentioned that he doesn't even. If he is going to get pizza there, he doesn't get the pizza. He gets, there's like a foldable, almost taco-esque.
Oh, the Papadilla?
Papadilla, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's his go-to.
Yeah. So I just thought the fact that they were endorsing other pizza, despite the fact that they get employee discounts and like, you know, and it may be an element of knowing how the sausage is made, but I imagine if you work in a pizza place, you kind of have that insight for all of them. It's not just the one you work at that it opens your eyes to.
Right.
So I think that their preferences are almost even more valid.
He also mentioned we have a map, and you could see on the map, Domino's is everywhere, man. Domino's is everywhere.
Yeah. He was like, we can see our competitors, and there's so many Domino's.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, is that everything?
Yeah, I can't think of anything else.
I think we've covered everything for our discussion. So we need to put all of these considerations into a number score to get a rating for Papa John's. But before we do that, Nick, this is your first time on the Fine Dining Podcast. You have not been to the dearth of restaurants that I have been to on this journey. And, I recently found Chili's to be the perfect measuring stick against which everything can be compared. If something's better than Chili's, it's good. If something's worse than Chili's, it's not good.
Okay.
Objectively so. But even with the middle calibrated, I need to know for you what's on the far ends, your 0 and your 10. So we're going to jump into this week's calibration station.
Calibration station. Comparing this meal to the best of the worst. Calibration station. Chugga, 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 choo, choo.
Nick,
yes,
I'll let you pick which one you want to start with, but I want to hear about your worst restaurant experience you've ever had as a customer, something you would call a 0 out of 10 experience, and then the far end of the other side of the spectrum, your 10.
Okay. I'm going to say, and I'm not going to name the place because I don't want them to get in trouble.
Okay.
But there is a place that has a restaurant and a hotel.
Uh-huh.
And I went there for a weekend, and they asked, are you allergic to anything? Do you have any allergies or anything?
Oh, no. This is a bad start.
And I said, yeah, I have a nut allergy. I'm allergic to pretty much every single nut except for peanuts and almonds. Great. They asked me 2 more times, are you allergic to anything? And I said, I already told you guys, but yeah, this is it. It's on file, I'm sure. And then in the morning, they do like they bring breakfast to you.
Breakfast in bed.
Yeah. And so the person I was with at the time was like, wow, this is really amazing. It was like a pastry of some sort.
Yeah.
And she's like, you got to try this. And I was like, I took a bite and I was like, this is really good. I think there's walnuts in this. And then I opened it up, and there's like a walnut like that.
Yeah.
That big. And I've gone to the hospital like a bunch because of my nut allergies.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I'll be okay. Like I spit it out. I was like, I'll be okay. And then within like the next 15 minutes, started getting like hives under my armpits and my groin. And I was like, I think I might need to go to the hospital. Then I started like throwing up. And
is it like an EpiPen that fixes
it should if I was smart enough to bring one.
Yeah.
Anyway, we told them 3 times and they still gave us something.
That's a big ball to drop.
That was a pretty big thing. So I had to go to the hospital. I was having trouble breathing.
How did you sound?
I didn't sound like anything because I couldn't breathe. I was like, yeah, it was a really bad experience.
That's not good.
I won't say their name because I again, like after they were very apologetic, and they paid for the hospital bill, and they paid for like us to come back another time. But you just, I almost died. So I guess that would give me a 0. A 0 out of 10 for almost dying.
Yep. All right. And then your 10.
And then my 10, I may be biased, but I think the best restaurant I've ever been to is here in LA. That's Osteria Mozza.
Okay.
My partner actually works there as a server, but aside from that, just excellent service. Every dish is incredible. I've never liked octopus, and they just prepare it in such a way that it's like just crazy good. Their frittura is very good.
That's a bread, right?
That's a bread. Yeah, it's like a garlic bread, and it's just every time I bring somebody there, I'm like, you got to get this bread. They're like, it's just bread. I was like, get it, and then they
hold on.
Yeah,
it's just bread. Am I living in a world where I'm the only one who that's the must?
Yeah, right. I think because there's so many other things that you're trying to save room for, you're like, well, I don't know if I want to fill up on bread. But this is, have you been to Osteria Mozza? Yeah.
I've only been to Cheesepaka of that suite of restaurants.
They might, and they have a great focaccia there.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyway, incredible meal, great dessert. Nancy Silverton is the genius, and check it out if you get the chance.
Okay. Well, somewhere between the best bread and amazing culinary experience and dying, lies Papa John's.
Right.
And right in the middle of those, Chili's. So we're going to put it to the Chili's test as we go into our final rating segment.
It's time to set the scale. Will it pass or will it fail? Is it the worst? Is it the best? Let's put it to the Chili's test.
Papa John's, to you, is it between Chili's and death or Chili's and Osteria Mozza?
I always say Chili's and death.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right. Tell me about it and give it a number.
Yeah, I'm just going to say, I didn't barf, so that's good. Just
that guy on Yelp was not so lucky.
Very subpar. Just a very subpar pizza experience. Just kind of experience overall.
Like all of my points are from how pleasant the staff was to us.
If that's the case, then there's something that's wrong with the food.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So I'm going to give it a 3.74.
3.74. You are a much more generous individual than I am. I was just so come on. The pizza should be at least solid.
Yeah.
And it wasn't. And look,
it should be at least a 5.
At least. As someone who doesn't like cheese, I do recognize that Papa John's probably does have the highest ratio of cheese to other things. I can barely taste tomato sauce on a Papa John's pizza. And to me, that's the part of the flavor that I like most. It's the bread and the tomato sauce together. And then whatever the toppings are, I always like a pepperoni or some sort of meat, but I like the interplay between those ingredients. And then cheese for me should be nothing more than an adhesive to hold this thing together. I don't really want to taste it. And this is personal preference. But given that it is so cheesy, given the loaded nature of the brand that I have with some of their controversies and stuff like that, I'm not rooting for Papa John's.
Right.
I'm not. The staff was very pleasant, a good dessert, and then subpar, mediocre at best for everything else. So, for me, Papa John's gets a 2.48. So, it's pretty not great. I'm not gonna go again.
Yeah.
It's just...
You weren't won over.
If I am in a town where the only pizza place is Papa John's, I'm probably driving to the next town regularly to get my pizza fix.
Yeah.
I just am. Papa John's, not worth going to. And when you put your score together with my score, Papa John's is going up on the tchotchke of mediocrity at a 3.11.
Wow. Here we are, folks. 3.311, right?
311. It is 1/100th worse than Shakey's.
Wow, I haven't had Shakey's.
On the scale of this podcast, at least. And yeah, I didn't like my Shakey's experience either. It's a pretty depressing buffet.
Oh, they have a buffet there at Shakey's?
They have a buffet at Shakey's, and buffet food, I think people romanticize the idea of it without ever realizing just in practice, it's rarely actually good.
Right. Unless you're in like a casino.
Right. I was going to say Vegas buffets.
They're great.
They do it well.
Mm-hmm.
A Shakey's buffet beats Papa John's.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Could tell you didn't like it.
What this means, Papa John's officially not as good as Chili's.
Not as good as Chili's, objectively not so good.
So Papa John's, we have now determined its fate. There is still such a wonderful spectrum of restaurants that I have yet to try. And next week, I'm going to try another one to compare to Chili's. So I'm going to go into the You Must Bowl.
Wow.
I'm going to dig out another restaurant to see where I'm going to go next time.
If I guess it right, do I win a prize?
Nope.
Okay.
Next week, what's your guess?
Big Boys?
I've already done it.
Oh, you did it.
Next week, I am going to
Dunkin' Donuts. Or is it just Dunkin' now?
Have you done an episode about the fried chicken restaurant Raising Cane's? No? I do magic, everybody. So if you want to hire me for your birthday party,
for those of you listening,
1-800-MAGIC MAN.
For those of you just listening, he just produced a magic wand that rose up his hand somehow. He raised a cane.
I raised a cane. So you'll have to watch the video to...
I'm not gonna let you plug your socials. You're being punted. No, Nick, thanks for coming.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Thanks for coming on.
You can check me out at DJ Real Smells on Instagram, or DJRealSmells.com. I also have a website called parkhub.org, which you can check out. It's not safe for work, and I came out with a new special that just came out the end of last year called "Why Won't You Dance With Me?" Check it out on YouTube.
Yeah, I have. In normal speed twice. And then you can follow this show on Instagram, TikTok, and Blue Sky. That's at Fine Dining Podcast, or in the case of Blue Sky, finediningpodcast.bsky.social. Head on over to my Patreon for an exclusive episode every single month. This month, I'm not sure what I've got going on, but I've recently done episodes on Jersey Mike's, Blaze Pizza, Halal Guys, and A&W, which will be a part of this year's September tournament. So yeah, go on there. And then if you want, join my Discord server. You can find the link for that in the description of this episode or on the landing page of my website. That's finediningpodcast.com. And you can go join the conversation. We have fun talking about the podcast, about food, about our experiences with restaurants. And more importantly, genuinely, I feel like I'm making friends there. It's a very nice place full of nice people.
I'll play us out if you want.
The search for mediocrity concluded, but I still have to compare so many places to Chili's. I'll see you next week. Have a fine day.
Well, Mike. Hey there. Well, Mike, I've had such a fun time. Thanks for having me.
Have a fine day.